Hello everybody, Arkansas Minuteman 0864 here. Coming at you today with another video. This is probably going to be a multi-part video just like my Discord article. But this is on books that I keep in my library that I feel like everybody should have access to. Really should have a hard copy of it, and there's quite a few of them here. So we're going to get started and we're going to go through these books. I might get all the videos done today, I may not. Depends how I feel getting through each one of them. So without further ado, we're going to get you right and get you over here where you can look and see what we got here. As you can see here, we got the Special Forces Recon Manual, the Special Forces Patrolling FTX book, titled Combat Recon Manual B-52 Tips, Jungle Recon Tips of the Trade. We got the Recondo School 1970 Recon Manual. We also have Reconnaissance Platoon Training Plans, the Good Old Fashioned Ranger Handbook. We also have Warrior Skills Level 1 that is issued to every soldier, E1 through E4. And then we also have the Combat Skills Handbook. Now on these, the recon manuals, they go back and they teach you different things. It's a lot of reading, but it teaches you about organization, composite of RTs, RT equipment, permission preparation, air infiltration, exfiltration techniques, patrolling techniques, tracking and use of human senses and obtaining combat intelligence, and the last three really, as a Minuteman, we're not going to be able to use because we won't have access to that kind of stuff. But it tells you what should be packed in your rucksack, what should be in the pockets of your individual uniform, what should be on your load-bearing equipment. A lot of good information in here. Teaches you how to rig up the old UH-1 helicopter for rappelling out of the helicopter. How to rig up a stable rig for exfiltration. Definitely a lot of good information. How to set up, get rid of evading tractors, ambushing them. If you can get a hold of a copy of this book, I believe it will be well worth your effort. Also tells you patrolling techniques. Always carry a camera with you. A picture's worth 1,000 words. Signaling. Preparation of weapons. All kinds of good stuff in here. The next book, the B-52 Tips, Jungle Recon Tips of the Trade. This is, I've gone over this one before in a previous video, but this is actual lessons learned from MACV-SOG recon teams and their way they did stuff, how their uniforms were set up, how the weapons were set up, and all of that. The next one is a Recondo. This was written off of lessons learned and lessons taught through the MACV Recondo School. It gives you a list of equipment, sterile fatigues, tiger suit, floppy brim, jungle boots, how to set up your harness and all that. How many canteens, rucksack set up, rope for rigging a Swiss seat for climbing or whatever. Another real good book. Reconnaissance Platoon. This is what you work with when you're a 19 Delta Cav Scout. This has got a lot of good information in it. Reconnaissance, how to platoon missions, fundamentals of reconnaissance, how to set up your security. A lot of good information in here. Everybody knows the Ranger Handbook. The school that teaches leaders how to be leaders. It goes real in-depth into reconnaissance, ambushes, all kinds of good stuff. This is a civilian book that's taken a lot of different field manuals and it has combined them basically into one. How to dig fighting positions, how to do movement and observation, how to do NBC chemical warfare, all kinds of things. Tracking, survival, evasion, escape, weapons and fire control. A lot of good information in here too. And this is what you learn in basic training. This is what every soldier is given when they go to basic training. And this is everything you got to learn so that you become a basic soldier. So with that being said, that's the end of this set of books. Okay, everybody, Arkansas Minuteman 0864 here with the next set of books. This is on communications, and this is put out by NC Scout. He's another great guy. He's actually from my home state in North Carolina up there. He's really big into the communications. He can teach you about anything and everything you want or may not want to know about the Baofeng radios. The first one is Special Forces Antenna Book. He goes into detail on how to set up various antennas to extend the range of your radios if you need to. He gives you different diagrams. He gives you pretty simplistic instructions on how to do it. Tells you, he's got in here how to figure the length for the different megahertz of signal that you're going to be using. And another great book that every prepper, every Minuteman should have right there. Then he's got the one on the Guerrilla's Guide to the Baofeng Radio, as I call it. And this will teach you anything and everything and more than you probably ever want to know about these fairly cheap Chinese radios. He tells you how to set them up, how to set up the repeaters, channels. He covers it all in here. This man has got his stuff together when it comes to radios and communications. And you also need to look him up on YouTube, NC Scout. He's got some good YouTube videos out there on different things. His next two books is Volume 1 and Volume 2 of the Guerrilla Dispatch. This goes into all aspects of guerrilla-type warfare, building a team, keeping spare parts for your weapons, setting up a practical combat rifle. I mean, he got it all. The Night Vision Techniques Part 4. This is everything that you'd ever want to know. So here's a couple of books that everybody definitely ought to have on their hands, especially if they're using Baofeng radios. Part 2, he just continues on, and he just takes it a little bit deeper. He goes into how to do the military decision-making process, commander's intent. I mean, he got it all in here. If I can flip through the book and keep my place. Gives you the different supply classes. Talks about log pack, which is going to be a shortfall for most of us out here. Troop leading procedures, he covers that. This is something that every prepper and every Minuteman needs to get into. He gets into operations order format, the operations order. He discusses what it is. Everything you need to know. to 10 C's to 5 C's. His opinion on how he sets up his equipment using the line system. Map reading, he's got that covered too. And then the last but not least is the Guerrilla's Guide to Signals Intelligence. I'm still reading through this one, but this is basically scanning your radio channels, seeing what you're picking up. Your human intelligence, where you're actually out on patrol doing reconnaissance, and you're doing what we used to call snooping and pooping. You're out there looking around, seeing what you can see, and all of that good stuff. All your intel, every piece of intel is like a piece of a jigsaw puzzle. It will fit into puzzle somewhere, and though when you get it, it may not seem like it's very important, and it may look like it doesn't even fit into the puzzle anywhere, but hang on to it, because eventually, I can guarantee you, it's going to fall in place, and then it will all make sense. Even though in the beginning, it may not make a bit of sense to you. So check out NC Scout, check out his YouTube channel, and check out also his series of books. You can get them off of Amazon like I did here. So, and this concludes this section on this set of books. Okay, we're back again for the next part on this series. I'm having to break this down into sections for this video so that I can get them all. But I accidentally ran across this guy through another channel, and I can't remember the channel, but I looked him up and I like what I saw. His name is Joe, and I'm sorry if I mispronounce his, but DeLeo, I think it is. But he's got a series of books out, and I've got 2 more I got to get from him. And he goes into, there's called the Tactical Wisdom series. But he's got the baseline training manual. This is for a new guy coming into the Prepper or Minuteman deal that may be a guy that just never been in the military, ain't got a clue what's going on, don't know what to do, how to do it. But he goes into everything. This is the first book every person should get and start reading it if you've never been in the military, never dealt with this before. He's got one book here. It's called Contacts and Notes. He's got it set up so that you start building your tribe. You can get down their person's name, contact data, and all that. He also has a section in here. I just went by it. You got team planning pages, section team plan. Here it is. Then you got your PACE for communications: primary, alternate, contingency, and emergency. And again, I'm going to shout this out to NC Scout and also Jay with the Prepared Citizen, because I forgot to mention in the last section, Prepared Citizen's very big into communications. He'll actually program radios for you. He's running that business. But this one, he gives you the Alpha Phonetic, the NATO Phonetic rather alphabet, and he gives you the FRS, GMRS frequencies. Get your GMRS license at a bare minimum. And he goes into all kinds of stuff. He also talks about CB frequencies. If you got specific frequencies for your group, you can put them in. He talks about terrain analysis, COCA. He talks about site selection, BLISS. He talks about the Cooper awareness color codes. Yellow's unprepared, unready. Black means you're totally ineffective. You're out of ammo, you're out of water, you're out of everything. So that'd be a good book to have. Then he goes into scouting and patrolling, and he goes into detail on how to scout, how to patrol, what to do, what not to do, and all that. And again, he's got one on first aid. It's like a pretty basic first aid book, but it will also tack along with the other first aid books that I showed you in a previous section of this video. So, this concludes this section of the video. Alright, next is going to be just two books. The first one is Combat Tracking Guide by John D. Hurth, and the second one will be Anti-Tracking, aka Counter Tracking, by David Diaz. This guy, he spent his time, I want to say he was actually a Rhodesian scout tracker back during the Rhodesian War. I may be wrong on that, but he is a professional tracker. He covers everything. How to track, what signs to look for. He gives you a complete list of equipment that you might need, what kind of weapon, uniform, what should be on your uniform. In a lot of ways, he's pulling off of the old MacVSOG RT teams and the way they pack their gear out. A lot of good information in there if you want to learn how to track. He teaches it in a way that you can read the book, and then you can actually go out and you can start looking at animal tracks and stuff and start taking what you read and what you learned in the book and putting it to actual practice. David Diaz, he's doing just opposite. He is going to be teaching you how to throw off trackers and how to counter them and how to do your track so it makes it harder for you to be tracked. Two good books for anybody that's in the outdoors, especially if you're a hunter. I will highly recommend that you get these, especially the combat tracking one, because it actually becomes useful when you're tracking down a wounded deer or something like that. So, with that being said, this concludes this section of the video. Okay, on this video, we're going to do kind of a goulash type deal. The first one I'm going to talk about is Foxfire series. This is book 1. There's 12 books in the series. And then there is a 40th and a 45th anniversary volume also that goes with this. In this goes back and it teaches you how our forefathers used to do stuff. It got recipes. It's got how to fire and use a wood cook stove, a Dutch oven, how to cook it in the coals, how to make lye and lard, making soap. This is a whole lot, how to make quilts, how to make chairs. This is our forefathers' way of doing things from 100 years ago and more. How to build a fireplace, how to build a log cabin. If you want to learn how things were built back when your great-great-great-great-great-grandfather was around, this is the series of books that you need right there. It was a project started around 68. In 72, a newspaper picked it up from a high school, and they actually published it, and then it wound up turning into a series of books. And the kids that started it loved it so well, they just kept going. And it's a real popular set of books, and it's definitely got a crap load of information in it that we all need to relearn and pass on to the generations. The next book is called Total Resistance by H. von Dock. And this teaches you basically guerrilla warfare tactics and techniques and how to do things. There's stuff in here that I'm not going to mention, but there's stuff in here that I highly advise you not to go practice, because it will get you in jail. So, then the last book is The Combat Leader's Guide, Field Guide. This is written by retired Master Sergeant Jeff Kirkham, United States Army Special Forces. He goes over a lot of stuff in here. how to set up different positions for your automatic rifleman, machine gun, how to dig fighting holes, aka foxholes, how to set up your limits of fire, how to patrol, land navigation, how to get a grid coordinate, you name it, and he's got it in here. Patrolling, all this good stuff. How to do your marches, movement to contact, everything. Another great book for a Minuteman to study and learn up on. And this is going to conclude part 1 of this series. Part 2 will come here in a day or two, probably the first of the week. So, hope you all enjoyed this. I'm sorry for the camera moving around. First time I've tried to do something like this while holding the phone and videotaping. Hopefully it didn't make you too sick out there thinking you're on the ocean. But stay tuned. Part 2 will be coming first of the week. And hope you've enjoyed this. If you got any questions, drop them down in the comments. Or you can go and drop me an email at arkansasminuteman0864, all one word, at gmail.com. Or you can look me up on Discord, and you'll find me there. You can talk to me there. So with that being said, I'm going to sign off of here, and as always, pay attention to detail and survive. Hello everybody, Arkansas Minuteman 0864 here. I'll try this one more time. Next set of books is all on first aid. The first book is the Red Cross, American Red Cross First Aid book. And this is one that it goes into really kind of deep in some stuff, but it also gives you a lot of the basics, like on wounds, broke bones, if somebody has swallowed, something they shouldn't have swallowed, how to treat for shock, artificial respirations. Everybody needs a basic first aid kit. Everybody really should go get an advanced course, and you ain't got to go get EMT 1 or EMT or paramedic unless that's something you want to do. But everybody needs it. And on this, I'm going to shout this out to Jay with Prepared Citizen. Jay is really into the first aid stuff. He really knows the stuff about it. And if you need courses taught in it, contact him over on his channel at Prepared Citizens. And he can hook you up. He also has got a small business going where he's selling medical supplies for like refilling IFACs, setting up basic boo-boo kits or everyday carry kits. He's got all that going on. He can offer you a different selection of different tourniquets to use. And he's really a great guy out there, and he's doing a great job. So shout out to you, Jay. The next 2 books I'm going to briefly hit upon, and these are for references only, is the Special Forces Medical Handbook. They go really deep into stuff for treating diseases, how to, it actually goes into dosage of different medications and everything else. Everybody don't realize it, but a medic on a Special Forces team, he's not only a doctor, he's a surgeon, he's a dentist, he's a veterinarian. He covers the whole wide range of the medical world out there, because he does it all for the team and also for the citizens out there that they're working with in third world countries and whatnot. The last one is also the Ranger Medic Handbook, and it's also basically reference material as well. And it's all good reading, but if you like medical stuff, this will tell you how to do different things. It even tells you how to build out latrines and whatnot. Because believe it or not, your medics are the ones that tell you where to set the latrines up and all that. It tells you signs, symptoms of like urinary tract infections, plantar warts. This thing goes really, really deep into stuff. How to treat friction foot blisters. Everybody out here rucking, you know what they are. So these are all some really good books to have on hand for reference material and give you some insight on things. Now, my disclaimer on this, I am by no means a medical doctor. I'm not telling anybody, hey, you go get these books, you earned you a medical degree. No, I'm saying this is for people that like reading on medical stuff and learning different things and use it as a reference material. The other one that I can back up is the Red Cross's first aid deal, and because that's all basic first aid right there. We all need to know how to do that. So that concludes this section on this set of books.